Okay, so welcome everyone on the second day of our Learn KQL Kusto Query Language. And today we are going to move forward from the point where we started yesterday. We were talking about the different points. When we were talking about all these things, okay, so we have discussed all these points over here, that what is happening, how things are happening, how the query was being created, how you are analyzing the different queries. So we have seen it was in the type of your what we call table, where we were running query and we were having the rows and column in there, and then we were working without with those kind of a thing. So now it's day 2, we will be moving forward, and in the day 2 we'll be starting with the day 2 agenda over here. And in the day 2 agenda, we are going to see what we are going to cover today. So we will be covering today a few things like analyzing the query result using the KQL, using the functions like using summarize, using your dcount, arg-max, rendering visualization, learning about sort, now, parse, extract, join, union. And towards the end, I would like to give some time to you guys to ask your questions, and if you want some career guidance as well, that what we are going to discuss. Okay, and today also I am going to talk about that how we are just we can start with the things like the your uh, you know, okay, so we have seen the agenda for the day, and we will be start learning more operators for the day. So what we have today in the bag, what we are going to learn is summarize, extend, project, distinct, top, short, arg-max, min, make set list, decount, visualization, let, extract, parse, union, and join. Okay, so now these things, they look, I would say, pretty much kind of a lengthy scenario over here. Lot of the your queries, and some of these are going to be scalar, helping you with the visualization. But if you will be combining the two, as we know, any programming language or any query language is going to have too many operators, syntax to learn, but these are going to be the mostly used ones, and which will be helping you in the different scenario as well. So we are going to see that how this one, and by the end of this webinar, you will be able to write your own query, analyze the data that you have. So if I will start with your portal where we were doing demo portal, you remember we were having this demo portal which was having the logs already collect where I can run my queries. So I'm again going to start with the same portal, and I'm going to start with the query. So you remember these were our query. This was my schema. Inside these schema, there was my tables like alert table. Okay, we were using the tables like performance table yesterday. I was using security alert table as well. Okay, your security, there is tables like security alert, event, security baseline. So these kind of the tables are there. So today we are going to use some more of them, and if required, I might be moving some here and there. Let's see whether I can find option in my going to my own log analytic workspace as well. So here we are going to now start with the very first one. So yesterday we were talking about the count function. So just to remind you of that count function, what we were doing is, like any table was there, security event was the one which I was playing a lot of the time, and I was just saying, oh sorry, count function was count. That's it. Oh, sorry, operator. There is count operator. So this operator I was using, and it was just telling me in the last 24 hours there was the 514 and 436 514k around of your rows, means entries in the last 24 hours. So this is where we ended. Now I was talking that there is going to be a function as well, and you will be easily recognizing that anything that is going to be a function. So we are going to jump into the summarize now. So if you remember, if I just show you this something, just a sample. Remember we were having limit or take, right? So if I go with the limit 100, so it is going to just pick up 100 random of your 100 random your uh, events over here. So what is going to happen with that? So there was your, if you remember from yesterday, account was there, account type, from which computer you are collecting things, then event ID, and what is the activity name. So whole thing was there. Now what we have to do is we will be, okay, let me just do one thing. Let me just minimize this side and let me just start from here. Great. So we are now going to learn about the function. That was the operator, and we are going to start with the function. Okay, right. So yeah, okay. So when we were talking about the count was your number of your rows. You can say number of rows, or I am saying the number of entries in the last 24 hour. So when I was running that simple one, Hitesh, that means number of rows in the last 24 hour. How many rows has been entered or collected? So that is this record. Okay, so it is just counting the number. Now moving ahead, I will be using the count function, which will be aggregating with the different functions over here. So first of all, what we will do, in the security event we were having that table. Now with that security event table, let me just keep it for the future references, that if you are not getting any point, we will be looking at what tables and columns it were having and coming to this one. Now in the security event this time, I want to summarize. So I will be summarizing on a particular column. So summarize, it is going to allow you to count the number of row by column. By column, using the count function means, let's say, you'll be seeing what I mean. So last time it was just, count operator was just reading the number of row. Now let's say that I want to summarize on a very specific column, and let's say that is the event ID. So if, just to remind you, just to show you something, if I'm just taking 100 of results, in there are different event ID like 4688, 8002, 4672, 4624, 4634, different event ID. Now I want to summarize on this column. I want to know how many events are there for 4688. I want to summarize on a particular event ID column, right? I want to know something like this. So what I will do, summarize, okay, and I will use some function like count, and it is function. How we can know this one? It has these parentheses going on. So if you are familiar with any programming language, function, they generally comes with this parenthesis, right? So now by event ID, so I'm applying this summarize operator on this column event ID, and I'm saying count. Now what I mean, there are different events happening like 4688, 802. How many event for 4688? How many event for 8002? So this will be giving me that result, and once I'll be running this, it will be more clear to you. So right now, if you will see, uniquely it has given me that there are 4688 177k event of event ID 4688. Okay, so if you remember, 4688 is new process has been created. Then there is 8002. Okay, and this 8002 means a process was allowed to run. I am having 174k instance of that in the last 24 hour. Remember, my time range is set for last 24 hour. Here 4672 means special privilege assigned to a new logon. These many. Then there is your 4624. That means your account was successfully log on. Then there is going to be the log off. So these things will be there. So different event IDs, and now I can see how many of them, each event ID, how many entries for each event ID. So I start analyzing my data like this. Okay, one by one. So what I did, I applied this count function to calculate these things. So I summarize things by the event ID. Okay, and I give it the option to go ahead and read this thing one by one. So one thing that what you can do now, I can use more than one column as well. So I can tell, I can simply say that, okay, go ahead and tell me like your event ID, and with the event ID, I want the combination of the account as well. So it will be summarizing again by the event ID and account. So combination of event ID happening on any account, unique combination you can say. So what I mean by that, you will be seeing that when I'm talking about this 8002, this is one instance of 8002. Okay, let me just quickly change the pen color. So this is one. So this 8002 event, we just have seen, that it was around 174 something. Now, with the account NT authority slash system, there are 167 instance of 8002. And if you will be looking something, we just scroll it down a bit, again you will see 8002. Now this time 8002 happening with the account NT authority local services around 2786 times. Then if we scroll down, let's see any other instance. Again with the NT authority network services, instance of 8002 is around 3460. Means this time when I'm summarizing for the combination of event ID and account, where let's say that 4624 happening for the, let's say there was, okay, how many use, I will be using your names as the example. I hope everyone is familiar with that. So 4624 is happening with the, let's say, okay, although this is login, but just for the example, this is happening with the Albert, right? Now again 4624 is happening for the account of, let's say Hitesh. Okay, then same for happening for the 4624 for is also happening with the Megha's account. So how many incident related to these things? So I'm right now only using count function. So we can use such things like that. So it is giving me the idea that 8002 has happened for this account, how many times. So that kind of the idea I can take with this particular one. So for the each unique combination over here, I can just see how many times where these things they happen, right? So this is something you can easily see. Now, if you will be noticing this count function, it is coming with the always with the name count underscore. I don't want this name. I want to change it. So what I can do, I can simply write, what I want the column name is event ID, event ID count. So equals to count. Okay, so when I'm running this count function, I am saying that whatever is the output of this function, column name should be this eid count. So if I run this query again, so you will see this time that is coming with the name eid account. So this time you can see very easily, right, that event ID is here, account is here, and then there comes their eid, and it is like, completely shorted for the combination of 8000T and the authority system, these many counts, and you can see keep happening with the combination of all at once. So this is, what you can do if you want to change things. Now, not only this thing you can do, you can use something else as well for the same. Now, I think this thing, I will be keeping this much same. Security event, summarizing it with the event ID count. Now I will be doing it by your, this time instead of, I want to see that, okay, I will be showing you one more function, which is bin function. And this is what I'm going to use, bin and parenthesis, and I will be saying time generated and 1 day. This will be a binning, right? So what it is going to do, whatever is the output right now, it is going to, bin it by, like I'm saying, 1 day. So today is, I'm having 29th of May, right? So it will be taking the whole from the 28th May, exactly going 1 day back. Okay, and binning the output, means how many results I was having on the 28th and how many I was having on the 29th. So simply we will be starting with, like, very first we started with this one, eid equals to, your count, what we were having only by a single column. So right now you can say summarize by eid, and I'm again counting things, but this time by bin and time generated. So this time I'm going with this one, and if I will run this one, you will be getting an idea what is happening. Now I have binned my output. So it is giving me counting again. It is counting the row according to the time generated. So it is telling me on 29th of May, okay, we have collected around these many of your logs or entries, you can say, for the security event. And on the 28th, we have collected around this your what we can say around 182k, right? Now although this data is not exactly correct, why? Because if you will be counting it a day worth of log, so from where it should be starting, it should be starting from the 12 a.m. and should be going completely up to the 11:59 dot 99999, okay, millisecond. It should be there. Okay, although with this one day, what is happening, just like right now in Indian Standard Time, it is 8:25 p.m. So it is going just one day back, and it is going to the 8:25 p.m. of from the 29th to 28th. So these records that you are seeing in here, okay, these records are actually a bit misleading. I'm just warning you if someone is coming into your mind. So there is going to be like this, and it has collected from 8:25 to 12 a.m. 11:59 a.m. So all p.m. sorry, that all is collected over here. So it is bit different. Although we are not discussing some other operator, which is time related operator, like there is going to be the start of the day. Okay, there is going to be the things like the end of the day. There is going to be the start of month, start of week. These kind of operators are also there, right? So these things can also help you to get these data factually correct, right? So I just wanted to bring this to your attention. So if after the session, if you want to build on this knowledge, I have shown you that particular link of overview page. From there you can go ahead and start working on this one. So I just wanted to show you not only this, we can bin this data. I can change it from either from 1 day to 1 hour, and things will be completely changed, right? So it will be showing you the data according to the bin by hour, right? These kind of things they will be showing you, like the particular from 3 a.m. 2 to 3, 3 to 4, that kind of per hour, on which date, how much data they were collecting the last 24 hour. So it will be the whole idea that you will be getting. So we can use this summarize function like this as well. If you are interested in it, you can use it by this particular value as well. Now let me just change it back to the 1 day. And on the same 1 day query, what I am going to do is I'm just going to show you something. I'm just going to show you that what else we can do is we can summarize EID count. So last time we didn't use this thing. So what I will be doing, I want more insight. So what I can do is event ID by, oh, sorry, two bys by event okay, event ID comma bin time generated on a one single day. So it will be giving me the idea. So the last query I'm just extending it by adding one more column. So on 29th for event your 8002, how many events or you have collected, right? On 29th of May up to now, means today up to this time, how many logs we have collected. Same, if you scroll down, you'll be finding the 28 data as well. So on the 28th for 4798 or for 8002, you will be seeing 8001. On 28th, we have collected, like if we go 24-hour back, and then between the 12 a.m. 11:59 a.m. we have collected around 20. So this, by this way, what I am doing, I'm summarizing it based on the event and the time as well, meaning by the time. So I will be having the better idea or understanding of what is going on with the different scenario, right? So this is one of the things with the security event. And if you guys remember, yesterday I was showing you the perf table as well. Let me just, okay, as I was saying, count is a function, it is, and we don't need to, send anything. It is just counting the number of entries over there. Okay, we are not passing anything. It is just, counting on that. We are telling it like very simply. I started with something like this, only this part: security event, summarize, eid, count. Okay, we were summarizing things by the event id, different event id. And when I give the event, count function over there, it start counting the different result for the each column on which we were shorting things out. Okay, so this is going to be, one of the thing. And like I was talking about this, take 100 over here. Okay, so in the perf table, I just wanted to show you there was something like the percentage free space, free megabytes, percentage free space as well. So different things were in here, like percentage processor time, free megabytes. So this kind of thing can give you the idea, or one of the queries that when I was learning, which I find very useful, was that finding out the percentage free space, right? So we can go ahead and just simply try to get the entries for that. We can aggregate, not only on the, up to now what we were doing, we were going with the your things like bin. One thing which we were using was the bin. So instead of bin, I can also use the average. So simply, if in this one I will do something like this, still I'm going with the take 100, but I'm just saying that where my counter name is, where my counter name is equals to your, there should be percentage free space. Hopefully I will be writing it correct, else we'll be getting the error. Free space, something like this. Okay, so we got all these, percentage free space part, where we can see 74% is free, 91% is free, 93% is free. So this kind of thing you are getting. Now, again, let's say that this time I want to summarize thing by the counter name itself, which is percentage free itself. Okay, so on this one, I want to summarize thing. Now, I want to count how many entries are there for the percentage free space, but with that, I just, like, last time I binned it with this thing. I want average value. Okay, what is the average free space as well? So what I can do is I can simply take things like this. I can go here, put a pipe, summarize, and, like, let's say how many number of entries first of all at each level, number of entries. This is the column name that I'm giving, equals to count function, right? It will be counting at each level how many few, like 30%, 70%, how many few, how much of a free space we are having. If you want such kind of thing, you can use such thing. Then if you want to calculate average free space on the same column, so what we will be doing here, average free space. So for this one, what I am going to do, this will be the column name, average free space. So for this one, what I am going to do, I am going to use another function. And as you can see, the, where I have to apply this, I have to apply this on the counter value to take the average. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go and apply this. Sorry, not here. My phone. Average function, avg, and you will see, oh, not svg, avg here. This is the function. So what I have to do, on which column I am doing, taking the average, counter value. Okay, so if I will be, and still I haven't defined the column name yet, where I am running all both the functions, count and the average. So I am going to tell it that I am going to run it on the your by counter name. Okay. So right. So although we have already sorted that out, and if I will be just taking 100, it is just going to take 100 over here. So when we are coming with something like this, what is going to happen is that first it will be finding out on the different percentage level, like 70 and all. You will be seeing. Okay, once I will be running this thing here. Now, what it did. First of all, because I already filtered this thing out, percentage free space. So there was only one thing in the counter name, that was the percentage free space. Right. So now I am having the percentage free space. Now, two function I have applied, whatever the result was there. So first was the count. So count did what? Count goes ahead and count the number of entry for this output, percentage free space. So it is telling me that there is your 110782. Okay. So these two things, this is here. Now, second thing I applied was give the column name average free space, here number of entries and average of free space. In here you can read, I run the average function and it read it that whatever the result was there for the 100. If you remember, just the 100 sample space I have taken, and for those 100 it was the 83.484 of the average free space on these machines. So by this, this way you can go ahead and try to get these things onto the particular idea itself of what is happening and how things are happening over here. So this is going to be the bit summarize, and summarize again going ahead we will be keep using, like for sorting and all those kind of things, short things and all these kind of things, calculating percentage free space. Like if I run directly a query, something that I think I have written somewhere, like at the different spaces, if you want to check like this, right? So what I did, again I did the same thing, summarize number of rows at this level, count, and again I start binning them by the counter value of 10. So what it start doing is, at each space, like 40%, these many entries at the 40%, 30%, these many entry, 80%, these many entry, 50%, 90%, 70%. So this, they start combining things like this. So we start binning them according to their, last time we bin by the time generated, and here I am binning them by the counter value, right? So as you, and making the 10 space, like first space is going to be between 0 to 10, then 11 to 20. Okay, going on like the, then 21 to your 30, like this. Keep going on. So at this particular level, how much you have left. So this is something that is there. We are pinning them the 10, 10, 10. And at each level, how many entries we are having, we are counting them as well. So this is going to be in here as well, which you can use to get how many percentage free space is there. So this is, summarize is going to very, very helpful in the different scenario. Now, not okay, so this is the something regarding the summarize. So summarize will be again coming in handy as we will keep moving forward. Now with the summarize and all these things, one thing if you have noticed, whenever we are going with the any query, even I am going with the perf security event limit 100, if I run this thing, there are number of columns that is there. So you can see too many columns, right? If I scroll it down, too many columns actually in the security event, right? Now, not all of these are of my use. So what I am going to do is, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just going to work with this one and start projecting things. Security event, and now there come another of your tool or the operator which is coming with the name project. Okay, and it has its brothers and sister as well, project rename, project away, all these kind of things. Now when I was going with this security event and I was doing the limit 100, okay, so I was doing this. So what I want to do is, with this one I just want to project some limited time. So project and I will be projecting, let's say I require timestamp, so time generated. I want account is useful. I want account type as well, let's say in some queries account type. And we have computer, very important. We are also having the not the command, computer, and event ID and your activity, right? Only these columns are something that I want to be part of the output. So I can use project command, and it will be, only these part is going to be in there. So now if you will see, I am having only the 6 columns in here. Now, just like yesterday, what I was telling you, that we have one option here, and that option is to go to the new line. So sometimes to, for ease of read, you might prefer going something like this. You know, each column I am writing in a new line. So you might like this way, that you want to write your query in this particular way, right? You want to write your query like this one. Okay, so you can see again, result is the same. Okay, if you will run this one again, you will be having, okay, this time the limit can take some random 100 value, but yes, our task was to get only 6 column. You are getting only 6 column. Now projects, as I was saying, project is going to have its own brothers and sisters. So here if you will be seeing what we were having, security events. And in the security events, what I want is, I want to this time project away. So you can see project keep, rename, reorder. I'm just going to show you away and rename. Okay, project away. This time, towards the end, there was some unnecessary things like the, let's say, uh, target user ID. So there should be target user SID. Okay, let's use it. Then what we have the target logon ID. We also have your target username, we are also having things like the token elevation type. Okay, now these things are there. So I have written a query which will be just going to take 100. Okay, so before I show you this one, again very simple one, let's just use this simple security limit 100 one. So if you scroll towards the end, there is going to be these things like target username, target user SID, these columns, token elevation. Okay, you are having target user. These things are still in there, right? But I don't want them. They are not used. Let's say that for in some of the query, you are only having 10 or 15 columns. Out of 15, you only want to remove 2, 3. So where project away will be useful rather than projecting. Let's say that out of 15, I want 10 or 12 in my output. So rather than naming 10 or 12 over here, I can just simply say just remove only these ones. Okay, so 3 I removed, so it will be showing me the 13 remaining. So if this time I run this query, you will be finding that these are gone. Okay, so if you scroll down this time towards all the way right, you will be seeing no sign of these columns now. These columns has been removed from here, right? So these things has been removed from this particular part, and you can use this thing. Similarly, if you are thinking about the project rename, rename is just going to rename the column name. Like we are getting this thing, so you are projecting the any column, so you can say that project rename, and it will be just renaming that particular one. So that kind of things are going to be there, like a very simple one line thing I will be showing you. Okay, let me just copy this one. Okay, Let me remove these things from here, and this one as well from here. Okay. Okay, computer, and with the computer, what I'm saying, looking for, okay, I want to rename it. Okay, so project rename, project rename. Okay, so project rename, I'm going to use rename this thing with the new com name equals to this computer, right? So this is what we are going to do, project rename. I'm just going to rename this column and run this one. Oh, I forgot to use the limit. It will be taking time then. Okay, few seconds, around 14-15 seconds it will be taking. Okay, so Hitesh, if you have noticed, up to now I haven't used select. There is no select in KQL. So I haven't, up to now, at any point, I haven't used any of the select command there. So up to now, I have used where, search, these kind of things. So when I was using where and search, they were showing all the columns there. But with the project, I'm only limited columns I'm showing. Right? This is the difference that you have seen. Now, this is one of the good to use or simple thing, project one. And similar to project, well, not similar, a bit different, there is something like extend command. So let's say that you want to add your own column, now let's say that whatever is the output, I just want to add one my column which will be saying anything, right? So I want to add that. So for that you will be using this extend command. So one of the is there through the GitHub query, I got actually a very interesting one. Actually, it was always in front of us, but we never noticed this thing. So if you will be looking into the performance table, limit 10 only. Okay. So 10 result, if you will be seeing that in here, there is going to be the something like the, okay, with this one, before limiting it to the only 10, let me show you something. Where my counter name equals to my, there is something, one column with the name, sorry, one counter name which is coming with the name free megabytes. So if you have noticed last time when we were running with this one, this column was coming somewhere like this one. Okay, so free megabytes, and its counter value is this. So how many megabytes we have free? 61,674, right? So in the other one, 15,021. So we are having this much free space. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just quickly going to run this one. Okay, so this time I want to extend this column. So what I'm going to do with this particular one is, where counter name is this, I want to add one of my column and I will be giving it the name extend, and simple thing is I'm giving it the name free gigabyte. Okay, so how to convert your gigabytes to a particular, oh, sorry, megabytes to a gigabytes. What I am going to do is counter value I am going to use, and counter value I am going to divide it by 1024. Okay, so I'm going to use this thing, that's it. So I'm going to limit it to the random 10 result again. So here if you will see, this is the my free GB column which has been added. The counter value is still there. Okay, so counter value is still there. and I'm also having the free gigabyte. This is the column that I have added. So up to now I have to read free megabyte, and this counter value is this. This time we have something do useful with this one, extended one column name, and it worked with us, right? So it has we have converted. So I can keep adding column as well. So moving ahead, what I can do, let's say that I don't want these many of the column, and this time just remember sequence of your query will be very important. Why? Because we are using the piping command. If you remember, output of perf is a data table which is passed to the another query, which is where. So it filter this query and only give those instances where we are having counter name free megabyte. Then again, I added one thing over here. So now, if I just show you some simple thing, so how you have to think when creating a query. If I will add something in between, where I am just going to project few of the my columns. So I'm just going to project, let's say 2 3 columns over here, uh, like time generated. Okay, we are also going to do something like the time generated. After that we are having the counter name, right? uh, Computer and object name, these column only, right? I run this thing, and extend operator is giving me error. Now why it is giving me error? Okay, you have to think about it, why it is giving the error. So the reason behind this is simple. Reason behind this is, when you pass perf a whole table come, then you find only those entries where you are having 3 megabyte in counter name column. Now what I did was, I go ahead and only selected time generated counter name computer and object name. So next query, that through the pipe you are getting, that is getting only these 5 columns, and this doesn't include your counter value, and that's why it is showing error in this part. Okay, you can see red color is coming. So if I want to apply, or I want to calculate this free GB, so this should be including your counter value as well. Okay, counter value, and run this thing. So when you do this thing, you will be finding out that counter value is there, and now free GB is also there. But again, any let's say that I don't want to this column, I don't want the MB, I just want it on the GB so that I can easily understand. So what I'm going to do again, something that sequence of your query will matter where. So we are going to do is, we are going to cut this part and paste it as the second. First, all the table you got all the entries for the 3 megabyte. You added one column with the free GB, and this time if I remove this counter value and instead include your free GB column and run this one, what we will see is that this time that counter value is no longer required, and easily I can say counter name computer object name and free gigabytes over here. So this is something that so with the extent we have seen how you can add your own column, and with the your next project what we got is the different columns that I want to project, right? So all these things we have gotten here, right? So now moving ahead, we will be using, okay, so guys, I'm just going to increase the pace now. So I think everyone will be familiar with the different aspect of the KQL by now. So just to cover things up a bit quickly, I'm just going to pick up a bit of a pace. Okay, so we are going to have next two things. One is going to be distinct and top. Two very simple thing, very small thing that you require and very useful as well. Now, when we are going for the distinct, it is going to return deduplicate value for the column from the input data set. Deduplicate value. What I mean by this is, whenever we were going, okay, so what we were having, let's say I was having the security event table. So in the security event, if I go with the distinct and I say event ID, and run this thing on. Simple thing. So you will see how many unique. Okay, so it return you the deduplicate value. So this is having these many unique events. So you can see how many unique events we have. Now, if I go with the, I can apply combination of this, like how? Event ID with the computer name. So there are different computers. Okay, so what is happening? There are different computer. Let's say computer 1, computer 2, computer 3. They are sending their log, security event log to what? Where? Log analytic workspace. Now this log analytic workspace will be having the different, some IDs are generated. Some of these events are generated in here, some of them here, some of them here, some of them will be common. So what I want to know, I want to know the unique combination of event ID and computer, like for 4672, how many of 4672 and combination of your different computer, or let's say the account. So which account is associated? So in these computer might be there are n number, like 10 people in this session. So 10 different people can log in into either this machine, in this machine. So that kind of who generated which event. So I want to just want to combine these kind of thing. So if you run something like this, you run this query. So 4624 is generated in the your DC10, this computer as well, DC11 in app. So you will be seeing unique combination of event ID and the computer over here. Same, like I was talking about the account. You can go with the account as well. And here you can see which account has generated which of the event ID. You can see something like this. So let me just check whether there is something event in here or not. Take 10. Okay, look like no event table in here. If I just want to show you something. This is my log analytic workspace for my another session, my Microsoft Sentinel training one. So there is, although this is a bit older, so I have to change its clock. So time range, I will be choosing bit custom one, and let me take it back, apply this thing, and let me just run event and take it. Let's see whether something is there or not. Okay, something is in the event here. Now there is going to be the different event level, like error, informational level, what it is. So I am interested in something where my event level will be the error. Okay, so I am interested in that part only, that where my event level is error. Okay, now where I'm having this error, what I want is I want to use it with the distinct command, and I want distinct source for each one, from which source has generated the my error. So I'm just going with the take 10 right now. If I remove this one as well and just go with this one, so I can see what are the sources. So what I did, if you only go with this part and run this, so you will be seeing all those events. Around 18 events are there, which has been generated by different computers, MSN1, MSN2. There are different sources from where these has been generated. Now I want to sort them out, which of the sources is generating the error for me. So I can go with this something like distinct and sources. So it will be letting us know whether where. So these sources has generated. These are the sources which is giving me the error, right? So I can further analyze things according to these kind of a scenario. So here was in this one there was no event table populated in your demo logs. That's why I have to use my another log entity workspace. So this is something that what you can do with the distinct distinct combinations and all. Same what you can do, last thing in the simple one, these are the most used query, not last thing for whole of the session, but mostly used query, and one of them is always going to be your top. So when I'm going with the security event and I'm saying top and I'm saying top 20 by your, let's say for example, time generated, so it is going to give me first 20 row of the data set. Okay. Oh, right. So first 20 according to my time means it is going to give me the 20 latest of my logs. Okay, in this table security event log, it is going to give me the particular, these 20 top. So if you will see, it's 3:29, it's UTC timing, so it is almost near time. It is 9. If you just subtract around 5 or 30 minutes from here, you will be finding that this is something which is kind of a latest kind of a thing. Okay, so this is here we have the security event going on onto this part. Security event top 20 time generated here. So if you want, okay, I will be just writing a whole thing. So what I did, I have planned for this session. So I have written one query over here, which will be kind of sum of all up to the most used query, which we have learned up to now. So what I did, I started with the security event. Now I want the all the only those things, only those logs which is generated 12 hours ago. And with that, I want where event ID is 4762. Now I only want to project these columns. Okay, time generated, account type, computer ID. Now again, whatever we have got up to now is I just want the top 25 row according to the time generated, means 25 latest output here, and I want them to be distinct based on the combination of unique combination of event ID. Right. So let's say, this event ID 4672, because we are working on this one. This has been with the combination of which computer? Let's say that on the computer one it was generated, but in computer one there could be, let's say maybe Hitesh login, or let's say Surya login over here, maybe Albert login here, maybe Jane Doe login here. So unique combination of force here, there could be the different computers, see, and the same user could be here as well, right? So it will be giving the unique combination of 4672 for C1 computer for user Hitesh, then 4672 for C1 for Surya, and goes on, right? So unique combination, distinct deduplicated value for all these things. So when you run this query, you will find 4672 for this account on this computer has been generated. One event is this 4672 by this account of on this computer also being generated over there. So one by one you can look for such kind of a thing. Now what you have created this very good query, right? You have sum up whole thing. One thing which we haven't discussed yet, so you might be saying things jumping out of the place or anything, right? So we haven't talked about the short command here. Up to this point we haven't talked about the short command itself. So if you have to short them, how you will be, how you are going to short them by the particular scenario, right? Or okay, so I can improve this whole query itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add few lines. So this is using distinct. Okay, I'm going to remove this distinct and make few changes. Distinct and top I'm going to remove, and rather than one, let's just talk about the two scenarios. So I have created whole thing for this one. So let me just remove all these query from here. Right, so I'm just keeping one line here, and then let's just move on. So what I'm going to do is this time let me create and talk about the short, right? So if I just go with this query where security event is there, time generated only 1 hour ago, I'm using either event ID is 4762 or 8002, and with that account type contain something, there were two kind of things like machine and user. So I'm saying if account is containing user and projecting only these things. So for this, first of all, let's see the result for this one. So now as a result of this, if you will be seeing that there are these many queries, these are the results, and you are having 6 column around, 6 column, and time generated, account, user, only user type thing, because I have filtered it with the user, and computer, event ID 8002 or 4672, these things over here. Now you will be seeing the computer app good. Sometime again DC is coming. So how it is shorted? It is shorted based on the time generated. Okay, and time generated always going to be, and this is just the kind of a random that is being thrown at you, right? Random outputs that you are seeing here. Now you want some order in here. So what I can do for the order is I can go and sort it, sort by which column you want. Let's say time generated. If I will be typing time generated and comma your computer, and I am writing nothing and just run this thing. So by default, sort work with the in the descending order. Okay, and descending means your, okay, when I'm talking about the time will be descending, like descending for time is like right now it's 9 6, descending then it will be 9 5 9 4, means latest first and then goes into the back. While in computer we can know, we are aware like from G to A, right? So jet to A, right? Okay, so this is something that is there. So by default it is descending order. You can see computer is starting with the S and whole it will be going okay, not properly sorted, I guess. Okay, let me do one thing. Sort by computer. First let me write the computer. Okay, so here now when we run this query sort by computer and time generated, we started with the SQL, and this will be the latest time, and if you will be going towards the back, here you will be seeing A. So in the your backward, in the descending order. So you have to write whether you want ascending or descending. Like if I want both of them ascending, what I will be doing, ASC here, and time generated and ASC here, and run this. So both now is going to be, I'm just having the 1 hour of the data, last 1 hour. So according to the 1 hour, this is that. So your time is starting with the 1 hour ago and to this till this point, right? This is going to be that, and computer name is starting with the A. But thing is, let's say that time should be latest first, means time should be latest first and going towards the your oldest, and then computer name should be starting from the A to G. So here is something that what I want, how this thing should look like. So what I will do, from the time generated you can remove AC. By default it is going to be the your descending order, but if you are still making double check, right, making sure that it is descending, you can write query like this, going on to the your descending order, go back into the descending order. So you will be having the query like this in the short. So there is the short command. Okay, so there is again just like take and limit, they are synonym. Here short by is having its brother order by. For those guys who are coming from the SQL, you will be familiar with the order command. So we have the order here as well. So this is going with the your order command itself. So order by, and this time name is going your A to Z, and time is in the descending order, means latest first and then going towards the oldest. So this is something that is happening at this moment. right? One thing that is happening. Good, right? So ascending and the descending, they are perfectly good at this one. Now there is, usually I think most of you will be familiar with the max and minimum, and max and min command is also in the your we will say the usual KQL as well. So max min is also here, but I just want to show you something different. You can read about the max min, they are going to work as it is. So if you guys remember, when I'm saying that you can learn by yourself as well. So max command here, make max operator. So how max works, it will be talking about that max or min, right? Although what I am interested in the arg-max and arg-min, this is something that is kind of a unique feature over here. So that's why I wanted to show you. Max-min is again showing same thing, and arg-max and arg-min is going to do the same thing again. Okay, that is not going to do something very different. It will be giving you the max and min, but this has the power. If you will be using normal max and min, what they will be giving, they will be giving a max value, just the max value on a particular column, that just the max value. But here you have the option to go ahead and return the other columns as well, right? Like if I will be talking about this simple max over here, and I will say, like, we were using that performance table, perf table, right? Where what we were doing, we were having the free megabyte column. So I think I would have written some query here. Max min, just one. If I will write like this, where counter name is free megabyte, and I'm saying summarize it by the minimum. Again, summarize minimum counter value. So this time I'm not using the count here. I'm just simply summarizing it with the counter value. So here you will see that it is giving me for the free megabyte minimum value, which we have free megabyte, that is 34. So in that column, while in the arg max and min, we will be playing things bit differently. So here, as we know that our result are generated from the different places. Now this time, I'm just going ahead with the security event table. So again, limit 100. Just want to show you one thing, remind you something, that there is different computer from where you are just collecting the result, like DC 10, 11. In the same space, there is going to be the one more of your computer, which will be coming with the name your SQL, I think Contoso Hotel, something like that. So I'm going to use it like this one. Oh, take 100. I forgot take 100. Just taking 10 example. Okay, 10 record here. So SQL 12, this computer has sent around this, multiple logs although, but I'm just showing you this one. Now, in this one, I want it to summarize by the, maximum. I want to find that. Okay, so usually what it will be doing, I will be using this time generated column. I want the later, oldest time, the logs that I have collected, although this range is 24 hour. So when you will be having longest range, I just want to find out when was the last time, latest time when it sent the log, and oldest time when it sent the log. I just want to check that timing, right? So what I will do is I will be going ahead and let me just remove this take 10 from here, and I want to use the summarize function again. This time with the summarize, I'm going to use the arg max, and in the max I will be saying on which particular column, time generated. So find maximum means latest time when it has sent me the particular data or log. Plus there you have to mention some parameter, and this asterisk mean I want all columns. Whatever is there, I want all of those columns for that particular row, which has the maximum value. I want all value for that. If I run this one, so the latest time, max will be, when I'm talking about the time. So like right now, it's 9:15. So latest, max when I'm talking will be less. And if I'm going to, let's say 12 hour ago, so it is 9:15 p.m. and the oldest will be the, minimum will be the 9:15 a.m. here. So this is your in terms of time. So what I did, I want to check all the columns where, so that's why I written like the asterisk over here. So this first part, first, your parameter in this function is defining on which column you want to apply this arg-max. Then after this, I put asterisk, which is telling show me all column like time generated, account type, computer, events, rows, channel, task, what was the event ID. Last time it sent the 4688. Okay, like this. And same, arg-max has its sister, which will be calling the arg-min. And if you will see, last time on the 28th of May around 3:56 p.m. UTC, it has sent me this one. And which kind of log it has sent me? It has sent me 4798. So it is giving me the whole detail, all the columns. Now let's say that you don't want, you know, uh, all these kind of the, you can define which column you want. So instead of asterisk, I can say with the time generated, because I mentioned time generated is going to be there. With this, I want the computer, I want the event ID, and I want the activity account. Okay, let's just go for the account and the activity as well. These things and run this thing. So instead of asterisk, I can put other column names in here, and it is only going to show me those columns. And when is the last, very oldest of the log in this time frame I am having. So this is the particular one. So I have the feature of arg-max and arg-min as well, which will be pretty much, I would say, helpful when you have to find a particular whole detail where you are having the maximum value, okay, or minimum value. You want to see that whole columns, what is there, what kind of data it has sent me last time. So it is helping me in that particular scenario itself over here, right? One thing is this, which is the argmax and argmin, which is kind of unique operators. I think you will be seeing over here. Then on the unique list itself, what unique thing we have? We have something like the makeset and make list. Now, in simple term, if I will be talking about this, what it will be doing, it will be making a kind of a array for me. It is gonna go ahead and create an array for me itself, right? So, okay, what could be a scenario where I would be wanting to make something like an array? So if I have to talk about this, it is going to create array of the JSON object by flattening a hierarchy over here. So what I mean by this in simple term, if I will show you something, so there are lot of computer that's being used. Now they are generating different of your event ID as well. So let's say first of all, how I want to sort or filter my account. Uh, this time use something different, security event, and in the security event I want only last 1 hour of the data. I don't want too much of that. So time generated greater than equals to, and ago will be using ago function, and 1 hour, right? So ago 1 hour. So I'm just taking only last 1 hour of the logs. Then what I want is only those event where event, not data, event ID equals to your 4624, right? Now what I want, it will be giving me all those events, right? Now this thing, as there are actually around 15, 20 or 100, we don't know how many. In your organization there could be hundreds of systems that is connected, right? So what I want the all the record who is all the array of the system who is generating this 4624 in the last 1 hour. I want to create an array of the all these things, and in this place your make set and make list will be coming in handy. So first of all, what we are going to do is we are going to start with the make list. So I'm going to go ahead again. I'm going to summarize thing, okay, on the using the make list function. Oh, not make list. Make list. Now make list I will be defining by which account. Make list account, and it is making the account, and now where I'm summarizing it, I want unique output, so by your computer. So what is happening? Okay, so what I'm doing in this one is, first of all, summarizing it by the computer. When I'm summarizing it by the computer, it is going to summarize by the different computer like SQL, DC10, DC11, SQL10, SQL11, app 001. So different computer which is collected. Now I am just going to make the list of the account. Like in these computer, like in the SQL one, I'm just making that based on the computer, that which account, like Hitesh account has generated this thing, or someone else's account has generated this thing. So that kind of thing I want to know. So what I'm doing in this one is I'm just going ahead and clicking on this run thing. So now if you will see, now I have summarized thing by the computer. So what is happening? Each computer name is coming. Now in this computer, however, which user have generated this event 4624? So what, as I was saying, that there are multiple users, right? Multiple user using the multiple computers. Okay, so multiple user using the multiple computer. Now all these logs are being sent where? Logaltic workspace. Now I'm analyzing that if someone has generated the event like 4624 means login event, okay, and 4624 34 is log off. So I want to see on this computer how many people have logged in. I want a list of all of them. So this is something that I want here. So if you will see, okay, in this one, if come on, so if you will seeing this list of account, so lot of the your accounts you'll be seeing, and something is there is that is duplicate is still there. So you will see a list is keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. I keep going on in here up around how many 364 of the your account name is coming. That 364 users have used or generate the 4624 login event in this computer. But that's not exactly a exact number. Why? Because this is containing your duplicate value as well. So I want to remove these duplicate value and I want a unique set. So I'll be using, instead of make list, you will use make set. Now when I run this thing, what you will see that on computer JB0x100 only one user. On SQL 00 na-hotel.com 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 users have logged in. So these many, this is a list. So what I have got now is my data is much more easier to understand now. Okay, so if you drop it down, you can see 4 computer in this. In the SQL 00 na-hotel.com computer, 4 account were used, okay, to log on. So this is something in the last 1 hour I'm talking about, right? So this is how I am just refining my query. I'm making the array here with the make set and the make list. And one more thing in here is, you can pass second parameter here as well, that how many you can define. Like last time we have seen with the make list, there was a heap of the your computers there. So 300 something, but I just want 256 entries. So I can define 256 and I can make it the like make list, or I can make it like the only 64 entries should be there. So something like this you can use make list and use this one here, right? So this time if you will be seeing, although this is the duplicate values that is going to contain, if there is okay, I think it is ending somewhere around 38, that's why not having that much. If you open this one, so you will see the last one here is okay, they starting with the 0, so 0 to 63. Okay, means 64 entries are there from 0 to 63, just like array a0, a1, a2, right? If you remember the arrays. So this is something that is happening onto this particular point itself. Okay, so you are having this, you are creating the array, you can define things. And one example that I want to show you something like where you can use this is in the performance counter, where free space is, let's say, less than 60%, and I want to, let's say, make list of this. So this will be just the summarizing on the computer of the list. Instead of this, if you will make it more like on the make set, so you will be having very exact idea that where free space is less on the system 1 2 3 4, I'm having less free space remaining on 5, total number 5 5 system, which is dealing with the less than 60% of a free space here. So this is something that what you can use onto this particular point, right? So this is again one of the useful thing that you will be having. Now with this, what we have the one more thing, which is dcount. Okay, so dcount usually where we use, okay, not use in here usually, when you have a heap of a data, and let's say that you want the estimated, some estimated kind of the results back, right? So there you will be using the your dcount operation. On those scenario you will be using the dcount. Let's say that although you can read about it, I'm just showing you this thing. Okay, that there is something dcount which is called, you can say, the distinct count of time. It will be resulting the estimated number of distinct row, which we can say the, okay, I'll be showing you. Let's say where time generated, and let's say that I am looking for the data which is ago your 90 days, so a heap of data. Now my time, I'm looking for the more than 90, your 90 day of the data. There is going to be the heap of the data in here. Now what I want to do, I want to summarize, let's say that I want to see how many IP address try to connect here. So I want to count them, but with the heap of data, count function can take time. So we use something which is called the dcount function. So how I'll be summarizing it? Summarize with the dcount, and there is the IP address column. So we go with this one. So it will be calculating. So in the last 90 days, around one, this is not the exact number, remember. In this one, we trade accuracy, with the speed of the result, right? So you want quick result, it is an estimated value, not accurate, but estimated value. So what you can do, you can choose the different thing, like, with this dcount, I'm saying IP address, and I can pass another parameter which is between 0 to 3, either 0, 1, 2. If you'll be reading about this, what you are doing, you are just, kind of trading between the accuracy and the fast result. So, when you have heap of result to analyze, then you use like 0 is going to be the least accurate. It is going to give you 1.6% of error. Then 1 is the default, which is balance. It will give you around 0.8% of error. Okay, 1, right? So I can do like this. I have written 2 here. 2 will be more accurate, but it is going to be slow. It is going to give you the error of 0.4%. Then there is 3, which will be around your 0.28% of the error level. So between 0 to 3, you use the dcount. If you are in hurry, you want to just calculate few things, you will be using this thing, right? So this is something that what we have. Okay, I just wanted to show you that if you go here, there is going to be the bucket and different kind of the options as well. It has machine learning option and lot of things. So endless thing, but right now I'm just wanted to show you that something like this also exists when you have to trade, and this same kind of thing will be happening with the machine learning based queries are also there, operators there. So there also you have to choose the parameters, different event and all that kind of thing. But rather than that, we are not going that much of in depth. We will be using something like, I think I have created one query where I was using this 1 hour ago, right? Again I will be using this thing. So let's say that I want to generate some graph or chart, although there is always going to be the option here to go with your query and check the chart. You can see here, like this, although this is not going to give you a very good one, but in the query itself I can go and generate some chart. Like I want to summarize the count by the account. Okay, so if you remember, I am getting the result like this, that in last 1 hour anti-authority system has generated these many logs, this account has generated these many logs. So you can jump into the chart, okay, and you can see, try to change things here and all. But if you want more exact things, so what I can do, there is option of render the area chart, bar chart, what you want. I want a bar chart. Run this thing, and this is the your simply the account. So anti-authority system has around 5,000. Okay, so then different accounts based on that. So what result we were getting, so here was the result, and you are just having according to that. So if you don't want bar chart, you can just go with the some other option. Like let's say you might want a pie chart. Let's say that, can we generate pie chart for this? Yes, this is the some pie chart. Okay, so if I will be increasing this size, if you have bigger screen, you can see this thing. So I can generate the different pie chart for the different account as well. Okay, so this is something that also you can choose to do. Render pie chart, bar chart, area chart might be you want, right? So something like this. You can go and look for the things like this. You can generate this thing. Now, uh, let's say that we are generating this like this, and we are summarizing count by this time. Rather than this, what I can do, in the last 1 hour, again, if you remember, we were using bin and we were using the time generated column. This time, let's say 10 minutes. I'm dividing it into the 10-minute kind of a thing. Rather than area chart, I think I should have gone with something else like the time chart. Yeah. So you will see it is divided between last 1 hour, 3 to 310, 310 to 320. So how many entries according to the different users here. So you can just, sorry, time chart only. So between 3 to 310, how many logs was entered at that particular time. So you keep getting that kind of the idea over here. So you can render things as well onto this particular part. Now, one thing, okay, one thing which we can use as well, we haven't talked about it. So this was the render and everything that we have done. So let me just, we haven't talked about something like, how you can define your own variable. If we try to remember any of the, some of your query language or anything, it is always good that, if you can work with your own, you can define your own variables and all. So here we can, if you have to define something, we have to use the command which is let. Okay, so And let is that much powerful. I can define a whole table in the let itself. Using let, I can define a whole table like you were seeing. I can do a lot of things with this one. Like let, I can define minimum counter value of, let's say, your 100, like this. Or even when we were having that, counter name is equal to free space in the perf table. So counter and its name I'm defining as a variable. So wherever you require the variable, and oh, I forgot, let always going to end with the colon. So I'm going to put colon here, and in the your this part as well, I'm going to put bit of your name, 3 megabytes, like this, and colon, and this is defined well here. So what we can do, we can go with the perf table, and we can run some query like this. Okay, project only these columns. Now where my counter name, which we have gotten from here, only show me those things where counter name is equals to this counter. Okay, my bad. So I was just copy pasting this thing. Okay, I think minus what, something like that. Okay, great. This counter n, and this is the minimum value, minimum, and run this query, right? So what is happening, instead of using the number, I have defined the variable here, 103 megabyte. So no result in the 24-hour. I think I have defined min value very less, so I have to increase them. I think maybe then let me just increase it like the 500, right? So with the let, still nothing in there, so look like I have to increase more and more. And why it is happening, 3 megabytes, s was missing in the your counter name. Now if you will see, I'm getting all the value. So even when I was on the 100, right? So you can define variable using the let. And as I was saying, let is that much powerful that it will allow you to go ahead and work with the different things, right? You can define your whole what I can say, the complete table as this one. Like how, let's say you want to go ahead and you want to define, I am just going to define something. Okay, let me just, I have created something earlier. Let me show you something. I have created one query. Okay, here let, I'm defining a particular low activity count, and instead of giving some value here, I am defining whole table as a one, and you can see I am ending it with the semicolon. So I'm saying low account is equals to your, and I have, although I have taken it to the new line, you can think it like this. Security event is going, and I am just defining things like this. If you are not familiar, you are not comfortable looking into like this, so I'm defining let low activity count, this variable, and in this one I am passing a table, and this whole query, it pass security event, where I'm renaming the output column with the name CNT and counting it by the account, and I'm saying where CNT is less than 10. So I'm usually looking into those particular tables where my those accounts who is generating less of your alert activity, which is generating less, is doing less activity. I'm looking for that. Now out of all this, I want, let's say that then I can use this low activity. Instead of typing security event, now what I am typing, low activity account. Now I will go ahead like this one. If you will be going with the low activity account, then instead of running the query with the security event, this time pipe I will put here, and start putting the condition where my account contain, so you can see result is account contains my SQL. So I'll be writing SQL here and run this thing. So now you will see only those outputs are here which is containing SQL. So instead of having this whole thing, I can define a use a table directly. I just pass it like this. If you want to define your own table, okay, so what you are going to have is, when you are going to have this one, you are going to require something like so again for this one as well, let me just go with the one query here. So instead of doing something like this, what we have done is I'm defining my own data table. So here, so you will be saying suspicious account. It is going to consist in the data table format, something in the account, and this value, the column name is account, and this is going to contain a string type of value, which will be containing a string like this and this. Two things we have defined here. And if you will be looking into this in the security event, and now I am running, so I have defined one table, okay, which is containing two values only. Now in the security event table, I am looking for the account which is in this, which is mapping onto this variable. So if they are going to have either of these two values, they are going to be only, the output is going to contain only these two accounts. So rather than in your query keep writing that this account, either this account is this, so what we can do, we can just do the your use of the variable. Oh, I should have taken 10 or something. It would be much easier in that case. So my purpose here just to show you the let is that much powerful that you can define your own data tables. You can define the variable which is going to contain a table itself. And this time, if you will see, anti-authority slash system, wherever it is consisted, this account, or either the administrator slash administrator, only those results it is going to contain, right? So this is something that you can use let. Okay, there is a reason that I started with this, but I just want to start with these things that let we haven't discussed from yesterday, and because now we will be jumping into the multi-table statement. So if you want to learn more on the understand, before we jump into the multi-statement table, one variable also you will be requiring multiple times. So now that variable definition program is pretty much a strong game here. So now what we have, one of the thing over here is our presentation. Let me just jump into the presentation. So what we are going to learn now is we are going to learn how to build multi-statement, multi-table statement query using the KQL. So guys, you will be remembering in the SQL as well, we have something like, although we are not deep diving here, but I'm giving you the idea. We are having union and we are having join, two things here, which will be helping you to go ahead and create your query in quite a creative way, I would say. So here in this one, when I'm talking about the union operator, okay, so I hope you guys can bear with me. I will be in the end letting you know that how you can get your certificate for the webinar as well. So I will try to complete it within 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so first of all, what is going to happen in the union? I'm trying to explain this thing using this one here. So when we have two or more tables, right? Let's say like here, what I'm doing, union table 2, 3, or union table A with the table B. So A is going to have, let's say, 5 column or 4 column, right? B also have the 4 column. Now 3 columns, for example, are same, okay, or let's say that 5 columns were there. So 5 column, 4 column, sorry, my bad, 4 columns were there. So out of 4, 3 was common in both of them. Now apart from those 3, 2 columns are different for this one and one for the B. Let's say that computer was common, account was common, event ID was common, then there was something like the user name that was different and tenant ID that was different in the B. When you will try to unionizing both of them, what will happen? Let's say if there is only one row in both of them, output of this A union B will be a table with the two row. Okay, so how it will be happening? Like here, if you will see, if I do union A and B, so there will be row 1 which will be consisting value of A. Now both of them were having four column individually, but three were common, like these three. First three, this was common, this was also common, this was also common. Now this column here was belonging to A's column, so I'm writing it A, and fifth column will be added in here, which will be B's column. Now one row, first row is containing A column 1 value, second is containing column 2's value from A, third one is containing C1, C2, C3. Okay, so here this is containing the third value for the column for the A row. Now because fourth one, A is having this fourth column, its value is entered here. Now there will be one more column added B, because we have unionized both of them. So output is going to have now 5 column. This is the A's unique column, this is B's unique column. Now because A table doesn't have this value, it will be shown empty to you. While again for the second row, B all common columns value will be entered. Now because B doesn't have this column, it will be left empty, and you will get B's column output over here in the union. And how the query they look like, they look something like this. I'm just showing you, this is just the example, not the accurate query, but I'm just showing you that how this is going to look like. So if I will show you some simple queries in here, so for that I will be jumping back into this one, and with the let, if I just go and reach out to this part. Okay, okay, there is one table with the name security baseline. So let me just show you that. Take 10 results from there, and you will be seeing that this is a table which is populated. So I'm just taking 10 from here. So let's say that I want to unionize it with the union your security alert, no, security event. Okay, so when I unionize both of them, it will be very hard because now both the table have been merged. So okay, and it is also going to take a good amount of time. So first of all, let me just switch it to the 30-second. No, I think again in the 30-second there will be no baseline. Oh sorry, 30-minute there will be no baseline. So if you will be combining both of them, and let me keep the hours around this time for 12 hours, let's see. So you will see some of them are coming like the empty for some, yeah, then some of them are filled, and lot of columns are coming. So this is just combining both of them, and we have no idea which row belongs to which particular column. So there is something, and guys, if you want to learn more how this thing work, you can search here union operator, search this, you will be seeing this one. You want to use it on the Azure Monitor, it will give you the what syntax, argument. So like I'm going to use this one with source. Okay, what it is going to return, and some examples as well. It is going to give you some examples as well. So here, this is one. So this time I'm going to use something like one thing that is helpful in the union case, that is with source. So with source is always going to define, it will be giving you a column, it will be adding, which will be telling you from which table you have this row here, and I have to give this name something. So source table, I am giving this thing. I run this query, Hopefully in the last 24 hours I am having some baseline, else again I have to run with the same, your whole thing over there. So some result is here, and if you will see with source table security event, there should be one column coming with the name source table. Yeah, here. If you will see, it is here, source table column. So if you will see, this line is from the security baseline table, security baseline. If you scroll down somewhere, so somewhere in between you can see this line is from the security event. So this has some different kind of value, right? These things are filled, and towards the end you will see completely filled, like I was saying, some things are common, some columns are common here with this and the security baseline. So security events, there should be a quite somewhere here. So where you will be seeing that they are balancing it out between the 1 and 2. So here you will see these things are filled. Then some of column is empty, which is not part of this table, coming from the other. Right, last one usually they are empty, and then that is filled the other one. So this is a simple union command that is combining both of them. Then from the union, actually join is always going to be the bit unique, and join operator in the KQL is default one, is quite unique, and it provides some unique insight over here. So when we'll be looking into this one, you will be seeing rule kind and different hints that you can use here, like join flavors. This is something very interesting in this particular scenario. So if we are talking about this one, when we are talking about the union operator, oh, again I think this is spell this one, use the join operator. This is not the union, this is join. Okay, so we have the join operator. So when we are having the join, there is going to be the different joining option. So most of the people who will be coming from the your SQL, so by default there is the inner join that is working. And what happen is when you have to join two table, so there we have something which we call the key. Key is something between both the table, one column which is common. Like if you have noticed in the perf table as well, there was the computer column. In the security event as well, there was some computer columns which is containing the computer name. So on the basis of this, I will be joining my two particular of your I'm going to join the two particular table on here, right? So we are going to have, or we are going to use things like this. But so I'm just going to give you the overview of this, that how this thing used, and actually this is explained bit here. So if you'll be reading what different kind of things are here, so I'll try to give you the kind of idea. So very basic idea regarding this is, when you have to join two tables together, this was union, then there is this join. So when I'm using perf table and joining it on the other table, because they both have something common which is called the computer. Okay, or I can use the security event as well in here, security event table here, and join them on computer, because both of them has one column with the name your computer, and we can run this thing. Now remember, in the KQL, this perf first table, it is called as the left table, and this one is called your right table, right? So there is going to be the left table, there is going to be the right table. And where it is useful in this scenario, let's say that somehow what happen is computer is the same, right? Like the computer AC A app something, or SQL 10 or DC 10, names are something, but column name is different in the two tables. They have something in common, but name, like here it is computer. Someone is calling it the my computer, right? Thing they content is same, but this thing is different. So when you require to join on this column, you can use this left and right table concept. Okay, and how you can use this, for example, in the same thing, how you will be writing this whole thing. Okay, let me just go ahead and write something like this. So in there, what you will be seeing, left computer, right computer, right? So what I am doing, first perf, I'm saying, where time generated 30 day ago, that's why it is taking this much of time. Let me just minimize this thing. Only the 6 hour. Although 6 hour might be the chance that nothing kind of matches, but yes, again I'm taking the chances here. In the last 6 days, again I'm saying left dot column name is computer. If for example right table is alert table, if in this one name was something like the my computer, so I will be using right dot my computer. So if you know what is the common computer and if their name is different, I can use this kind of the tactic to join it on them. So you can run this thing again and you will be having your output over here. Now joins in here can get pretty much complex. So if you will be deep diving into the joins in the KQL, you can find out not only this, when I'm using this perf, I'm using one command here. I can use, I can filter out the date content first. Like I'm content, filtering the content, like I started 30 hours ago, and like I'm just showing you one sample here for the thing that how much complex it can get. So if you go here and you see here, so I started with the perf table. I start filtering out based on the counter name, project only few of the column. Then I start join, and on the alert table as well, I start running the same query. So I start running, just projected some of the common, your name here, rename some column, and then join them on the computer. So you can see going ahead, things can get pretty much complex. Means when you are joining, you can filter out the content, only relative content you want. So KQL give you this much of flexibility that filter out content and then you start joining these things. Now when we are talking about the join, actually story is quite different. You have to again define the kind operator. By default it is using the inner unique of your join. So there are different kind of the joins in here. So we will try to understand the definitions that is written over here. So when I'm talking about this, okay, so when I'm using inner unique, so what will happen? Only one row from the left hand side will be matched for each value on the key. The output contain a row for each match of this row with the row from the right. So what is going to happen is, it is going to pick up one row, only one row from the left hand side and match for each value on the key itself. And when you will be having, each value of the key and output, it is going to contain match for each row on the right with the row on the left. So what it is going to have is, this is going to be a default. And if you are going to coming here, usually what will happen at this one, whenever it find the first match, okay, in the inner unique, so it will be looking for this one. It find first match on the right hand side table, it will drop it there. Then again another table will goes and again look for the wherever the first match come, that's it. Then again and the first match. And if you're coming from the SQL, you are familiar of the default behavior of a inner join, which is every combination of left row with the right. Okay, that is something that you are familiar with. Each combination of the left and right should be there in the join. So that is the default behavior of SQL, but at KQL we have something that is different, and that is going to be this inner. So inner unique, this is the default one. Okay, and you will be familiar with the inner, which is going to return all record matching from left and right side both. So when you are matching both, that is going to be the left, your inner join. Now you have the left outer join. So what is happening with the left outer join? So when we are doing the left outer join, if I will show you it's a particular diagram here, so you can see something like this, okay, which it is going with the, going with the left join over here. Okay, so what is happening if null case it is showing, so you will be understanding what it means. So what is happening when I'm writing left join? So left join is gonna do what is, left join is going to show you all the rows from the left, all rows from the left, and where it is matched, there will be the right tables data as well. If this is left table, this is right table. So all row from the left will be there, and where the data, rows are matching, those things are also going to be in there. Else, right hand side data will be empty. This will be empty. The left outer join. Same goes for the right outer join as well. So when I'm talking about the right outer join, all the rows from the right outer will be there, and left hand side only include those where we have a match. Rest is going to be the empty. Now something unique here which you will be finding is going to be this. Where is that NT? Here, left NT join. So it is kind of a reverse of the your outer, that left join, left outer, which we were seeing right now. It is going to be the reverse of that. It is going to show you only the row which doesn't have any match on the right hand side. So last time we were getting all row from the left. This time it will be only showing those things which don't have a match. So only those things, let's say that you have two tables and you think that both of every row should be matched over here. But what happen is, if you just want to make sure, you can use something like left NT, right NT. Left NT is going to match only though, going to show you which does not match, rows which does not match. Similarly, right NT is going to show you something that does not match on the table, and only the right hand side row it is going to show you. Right hand side table record it is going to show you. So this is something unique in the about this whole thing, right? Now if you will be talking about the join, if you have to change the join, so what we can do, let me just use a simple, you know I'm not deep diving into this part over here. I'm just showing you something that is going to be quite simple over here. Security event ID 4624, right? And here security event on the same, for the other, if you will see that I am mapping the same, on the same table itself, but for the different scenario, 4624 and 4634. I just want to check the people, how many people logged in and how many people logged out. They should be same, and I am just joining them onto the account over here. And if you will see here, I have used the join command here, join kind inner. Okay, inner kind of join I'm using on the account. So I'm just going to run it and just going to see the combination where people logged in and log off as well. So log in for this account, NADC 10, 7 log on count and 5684 log off count for this one. So I can see bit discrepancy or discrepancies over here. So something that is happening, we can easily see. So just wanted to show you that the join option are here. So if you want to deep dive into the join, we can jump into this part over here itself, right? So I know people who haven't worked with the join, it might bring you some, you know, take you to the old days into the college. I remember many of my classmates as well. Whenever we talk about the join normalization, you know, they kind of don't like that topic. So many people who are not familiar with the join or union, you might be feeling bit new to this one. So I will always suggest that go ahead and read these document. Start, I have given you a platform or a way how you can start with your journey into the KQL. So start exploring different option, start exploring different things over here. And if you stuck somewhere, you can reach out to me onto the LinkedIn. I will try to help you out. Okay, whenever I'm active over the LinkedIn, I will try to help you out. So I have shown you a path how to start creating queries in here. So few things which will be very important is going to be the like parse, uh, extract. When you are dealing with something like the logs, different format logs, you might want to parse something, extract something. So start learning about these things. A lot of functions feature are there, time related, event related, data table, a lot of different features, count if else, switch function. Lot of things are going to be there, but most important ones, how to start working with the KQL. We have discussed this, right? So you can start learning now. You go on the GitHub, try to find out more, and let's start learning this behavior. And official document is sufficient if you will be start learning through that one, right? So thank you everyone for joining this particular session on the KQL.